I'd like to begin our meditation time with a reading from a dear friend, although an unknown source. With each breath, one takes the essence, the life force, and expels the impurities. This should be a lesson for us, to take the essence of life from each experience and let go of that which is not needed. In this way, every experience is a breath of fresh air. So let us let go of what we are holding in our laps, settle ourselves comfortably, relax our bodies, feel the support of the earth under your feet, and enjoy a couple of minutes of silent meditation, alone in our thoughts, but together in this space, together in spirit, in spiritus. Let us appreciate each breath, taking in what we need as we inhale, letting go of what is no longer necessary as we exhale, making space in our hearts. Gently and with compassion, notice what is true for you. I'd like to begin with a brief story from the Tales of the Hasidim, found in Jack Kornfield's book, The Art of Forgiveness, Loving Kindness, and Peace. In the last century, a tourist from America paid a visit to a renowned Polish rabbi, Hofetz Chaim. He was astonished to see that the rabbi's home was only a simple room filled with books, plus a table and a bench. "Rabbi," asked the tourist, "where is your furniture?" "Where is yours?" replied Hofetz Chaim. "Mine," asked the puzzled American, "but I'm only passing through." "So am I," said the rabbi. "So am I." While I'm not quite ready to reduce my belongings to that level, the message of this tale supports my current exploration into letting go of some of my things. Maybe it started with our fire communion in this sanctuary on December 30th, as I let go into the flame the habit I no longer wanted, and took with me, if you remember these, the practice I wanted to carry forward into the new year. Or maybe it was being sick with the flu in early January, feeling depleted and devoutly wishing for energy and inspiration. An idea began to percolate through my brain as I realized that the Chinese New Year was approaching on February 10th. This is the year of the snake, actually the year of the black water snake, a combination of two elements, fire for snake, and the year 2013 is water. Two elements that don't exactly mix, fire and water. So the Chinese forecast is for a year of much turmoil, but also of transformation. Just as the snake can be deadly, while its venom can also be used to make healing medicines. I prefer to focus on the idea of a year of healing and transformation rather than turmoil. Snakes do seem to literally transform themselves as they shed their outer layer of skin because they've grown out of it. So my monkey mind, I was born in the year of the monkey. And don't bother to read about those born in the year of the monkey. Once you've read about their mischievous, naughty, and erratic qualities, and those are their strengths, you'll want to skip their weaknesses. My monkey mind thought it would be great to let go of my old skin and experience some new beginnings. And while some of you have commented that you like my old skin just fine, I felt the need to let go of some of my old stuff, starting with the outward material stuff. So with a little help from Snake and my monkey, and now the growing energy of spring, I'm calling it the year of the house. Cleaning and clearing things at home and making the changes I'd really like to make, not just to the house and yard, but also as a path to letting go of anything I no longer need, especially from the past. Releasing what is complete, done, over, and making space for the new, the now, what currently draws and interests me, what matters to me now. I've been finding this book, Clutter Clearing with Feng Shui by Karen Kingston, particularly motivating. And the author assures me that I will be delighted at the energy upsurge simply clearing my clutter will bring about. Briefly, Feng Shui is the Chinese study of placement, how to arrange your environment to enhance the quality of your life, or how to arrange your outer world to enhance your inner world. And there is a strong belief that clutter in any area of your home or property, even if it's out of sight, causes stagnant energy in the corresponding area of your life. So I was anxious to get started and began to ask myself the recommended helpful questions about my belongings, especially, do I love it and do I use it? We could stop right here because there are no questions more important than those two. Do I love it and do I use it? But also helpful, does it need to be fixed or repaired? And am I willing to do it now? Do I have too many things in too small a space? Do I even know or remember the full extent of what I have tucked away? Would I like to use the space for something else? Is it environmentally friendly? Does it support who I am in my life now? What is my relationship to it? Does it have heart and meaning for me? And if it's time to let it go, how am I going to dispose of it? And when? There are many categories of physical clutter to consider to help us notice what we no longer need or find meaningful, including hidden clutter. all things paper and electronic. Things we have bought, collected, been given, or inherited. Other people's things. Things from the past. There is also mental and emotional clutter, like worrying, judgment, criticism, upsets, and grievances. In a sense, it's all spiritual clutter, because the clutter in our lives, tangible and intangible, obscures our vision, confuses us, and hinders us from following our higher path. So what has been holding me back from clutter clearing? What are the obstacles? Tara Catherine Collins, in the Western Guide to Feng Shui, says it takes a real act of courage to open your eyes and take a detailed look at what your home is saying about you. It usually leads to extraordinary insights, immediate calls to action, and deeply empowering inner and outer changes. And Karen Kingston says, the process of clearing clutter is all about letting go. Not just letting go of your belongings, that is only the end result. The most important thing is learning to let go of the fear that keeps you holding on to them after it's time to move them on their way. Every time I thought about going through my stuff, I'd feel overwhelmed, or tired, or busy, or I had more important things to do, or acquire. Old habits die hard. And my monkey mind had still more reasons to hang on. I might need it, even though I haven't used it in 10, 20, even 30 years or more. Someone else might need it. It still has some value to it. I won't get back the value I put into it. I'm especially stuck about how to dispose of antique and vintage things. It reminds me of a happy time in my life. It reminds me of a difficult time in my life. And I'm afraid to feel those difficult emotions. Even though I have been learning that the only way out of difficult emotions is through them, through allowing them. It represents some part of my identity, especially my creative, artistic identity, and my accomplishments. Sometimes you feel like you are throwing a part of yourself away. One of my biggest hang-ups is how to honorably dispose of it. I'd prefer it not end up in the landfill. I'd like it to be reused, recycled, and re-enjoyed. So what has helped me to get started? Being reminded to let go of any judgment or embarrassment or discomfort about what I have accumulated or why, or for that matter, what anyone else has accumulated. Until now, everything we have accumulated is perfect for us, just what we wanted or needed. There's nothing wrong with any of it or with us. When we're ready for a change, we'll do something. It has helped me to notice that things need my time and attention. The more I have, the more there is to take care of, to clean, maintain, repair, replace, arrange, and keep secure. And even if I choose not to take care of my things, they weigh me down. I've been asking myself the really important question, is there something else I'd rather be doing rather than taking care of things? This is a good question to ask about any activity. Is there something else I'd rather be doing? It's a lot easier to let go when I imagine someone else using and enjoying this thing. I really want to know exactly what I have and where it's located. If I can find it, I can use it, or avoid buying a second or third one. I've started to look at things more closely, to take inventory. I was fascinated to notice how many things I had stopped seeing, stopped noticing, or appreciating, things that were in plain sight. Some things have happily come back to life in a new location, and some things just needed to move along. I have realized that most of the clothes that are waiting for me to lose or gain weight are in styles I'm never going to want to wear again. I want to save my daughter the trouble of having to deal with too much stuff when I die. As a former estate administrator, I'm aware of what a compassionate gift it is to our families, beneficiaries, and heirs to clear our clutter before we die, completing any unfinished business, and setting down our wishes in appropriate legal documents. I'm so pleased to be finding out what my daughter wants and what doesn't interest her. And why wait? Maybe there are things I can pass on now. Things start to happen when you ask for help, for ideas as well as physical manpower, more woman power. It is becoming easier to deal with unwanted gifts as I learn to let go of feelings of obligation. It really is the thought that counts. You can appreciate the person who gave you the gift and not keep it. And when you give someone else a gift, let it go with love. When you give other people the freedom to pass on your gifts, you give yourself the freedom to do the same. I like the idea that keeping or letting go of inherited clutter will not change my relationship with the departed. I can love and cherish my memories of the person without their belongings. And if my relationship with that person was difficult, it isn't going to get any better if I keep the stuff. Or any worse if I let it go. I really want to let go of the past, of what is no longer true for me, no longer an active part of my life. As Michael Sibenko says, one problem with gazing too frequently into the past is that we may turn around to find the future has run out on us. I am still living in what was the family home which my former husband and I built together and lived in with our daughter, who's now 31 years old. By default, I'm the keeper of some of the family memorabilia and remaining childhood things. Fortunately, I have their active support and help in clearing away these pieces of the past. So what success have I had? Well, I'd love to tell you about every little piece of junk and its story, but I'll limit myself to the biggest success, literally biggest, our daughter's old playhouse. I had begun to covet the backyard space that it occupied, 6 feet by 8 feet, a perfect spot to sit and have a cup of coffee or tea on a sunny winter morning. The playhouse was beautifully designed and built by her father to match our light gray board and batten home with a storm cloud blue Dutch door and real glass windows. It survived a backyard redo a few years ago, becoming a garden folly or sculpture. And it got re-roofed when I had the big house done. But now its former charm was escaping even my shabby chic taste. With peeling paint, sagging door, infestations of rats, leaves, vines, skunks, termites, and even hornets. I couldn't have done it without her father's help. I did sweep out the disgusting detritus inside, but he deconstructed it with some hired help, and he found a variety of interested people on Craigslist, even as decrepit as it was. So off it went free to a family from Oxnard to become the dad's tool shed. But I'm betting on his 4 little girls who came with him to find some additional uses for it. After only 2 months of clutter clearing, I have been surprised at what I have learned, as well as what I have received in the way of new experiences and new insights. I have already found time and energy for new activities. For example, I'm beginning to learn about my family tree at the Santa Barbara Genealogical Institute with the assistance of our own Kristen Ingalls. I learned that I had to pace myself. I had very little energy early on in this process. But once I let go of the belief that I should not be tired, I allowed myself to rest as much as I needed. In one memorable, exhausted day, I took 3 naps. I became entranced with Wayne Muller's book, Sabbath, and have been taking to heart his advice about the importance of regular, scheduled rest in order to be able to do our work in the world effectively, in order to be creative, in order to do what we're meant to do and what we want to accomplish. He says that our culture of consumerism, of acquiring things, conspires to distract us from the beauty of rest and from doing things that do not cost money, like being with our families and friends, creating, being in nature, meditating, playing, and just resting. It feels helpful to honor what I'm letting go, to appreciate the good fit and place it had in my life, the skill and workmanship, like the playhouse, to appreciate and remember those who made it, gave it to me, or owned it before me, and what I learned from them, to offer good wishes for its future home and good use. Thing, you have served me and my family well. We have loved you. You were useful. You were well made. Thank you for all that you provided. And now we let you go with gratitude. Perhaps now someone else will use and enjoy you. I had a recent deep aha moment, realizing that it would be easier to let go of some of my negative old stuff For example, my feelings of unfinished emotional business associated with my first husband, this is decades ago, if I first honored and appreciated that part of my life, the reasons why I was attracted to him, why he was important to me, why we were in each other's lives, or just that we were, for whatever karmic reason. I finally got it, that honoring the good things might allow me to let go of the bad stuff, any remaining hurt or heaviness, and move on. I had another aha moment when I noticed my belief, really my artistic style, that every square inch of my house and garden needed to be interesting, aesthetically pleasing, inviting, comforting, cozy, functional, and in perfect working order. Nothing really wrong with this, but it just leads to a lot of stuff. I don't see myself completely letting go of this style or of my perfectionist tendencies anytime soon, but I am astonished at how much I'm enjoying the beauty of empty space. Like the empty patch of dirt where the playhouse used to be. I had been imagining something planned, designed and constructed, maybe a little raised deck or a pergola. But right now I'm loving the nothingness, the non-effort, a plain, humble patch of dirt, a view of the earth itself. Unremarkable by my old standards, but holding a peaceful, spiritual, friendly quality in this new space in my mind. I'm beginning to trust the process, to appreciate the not knowing, the waiting and seeing, the not planning, the no thing, the being with what is, right now, only feeling gently into possibilities of future creation or co-creation with others. I'm inspired to keep moving along, or should I say slithering along, shedding my old skin as I go, the one I've outgrown. If I don't use it or love it, if it's weighing me down or holding me back, I want to let it go with honor, with appreciation for its time past, for its completion, and move on. I want to become more conscious of my choices, about what I invite into my life, my things, my relationships, my activities, how I spend my time, so that my choices nourish me and reflect and enhance what has heart and meaning for me now. What I invite into my life. In closing, I would like to share a poem called Clearing by Martha Postlethwaite. Do not try to save the whole world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life and wait there patiently until the song that is your life falls into your own cupped hands and you recognize it and greet it. Only then will you know how to give yourself to this world so worth of rescue. Our well-being and our identity are not tied to our things. We all shine through, whomever we are, whatever we are, wherever we are on our journey. without our things. We are enough, just as we are. May the light within me bow to the light within you. Namaste. May it be so. In the words of Mary Oliver, to live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let it go, to let it go.